What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mon Bazou. As always, if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure you leave a like in the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. Since the last episode, I, of course, have been doing nothing, and I mean nothing, except for grinding maple syrup production. It has, it's almost gotten to the point now to where before I was tired of just chopping logs and splitting those into firewood. Now I'm just kind of sick of the whole process. Unfortunately, it's the best way to make money, so we've got to continue the grind. As you guys can probably tell, though, we're up to $62,000 now, so we're getting a little bit closer to actually purchasing, or I guess we're not purchasing the racetrack. We're giving Norman a large donation so that a soundproof wall, I guess, can be put around the racetrack, since the reason it's closed is apparently because it was too loud, and the townsfolk didn't like that, so we're going to be doing a donation. Of course, we're going to have to wait until Sunday till we get paid once again from our previous maple syrup runs. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for Sunday to come around, I want to try to get the E36 just dirt nasty low. Dude, I'm trying to get some camber on here. We're not really going to set it up for racing necessarily, even though it's probably important we keep it in its current form. I just want to drop this thing on its nuts. And I want to lay some frame pretty much everywhere we go. I want to make this as undrivable as possible in a totally static form. So to hopefully help us get there, we've got these 2 adjustable coilovers, but we're going to need 2 more. So the first thing we're going to do here today is head into town. I'm also going to try to get some wheel spacers and maybe a couple of other things if the van man has the stuff we need. But I'm excited. I think this thing's gonna look pretty sick. So we'll head down into town and see what the van man has to say today. All right, old Roger. Oh, wow, that was actually perfect. Roger, old buddy, old pal. I am just so amazed with my parking here. That is just phenomenal. But we're here to pretty much grab most of your stock here once again. Apologies about that, brother. We have plenty of metallic removal stuff at home. The other thing that we haven't yet bought from Dude Bro is the nitrous bottle, which I think all we really need is this nitrous mount, which is not at all how it would work IRL, Roger. I hate to break it to you. There would be a lot more work involved. But I think we're going to hold off on the nitrous because odds are we're not really going to utilize it until we actually get this racetrack up and running. I don't think we actually have to put anything in the tailgate. Oh, you know what else we need too is some more calipers, right? Because we got the front and rear sway bars, so I think we need to get our rear calipers as well. We're only going to be spending a little bit of our money. Hopefully come time Sunday we'll still hit that 70,000. But let's grab, you know what, let's grab all the spacers, because I don't really know how much camber I'm trying to add here. I want to at least make the wheels still fit pretty good. Now, the item we're going down here to get isn't actually something that I want, but apparently it's something a lot of you guys want me to come grab. So back here, just behind Martin's house, right? Isn't that, yeah, that's Martine's whip. It's got the wheels in the back still, looking good. But just behind here, there's a wooden spoiler for the E36. Like I said, I don't really want it, but a lot of you really wanted me to pick it up. I'm not going to install it because it looks awful. Even painted, it still looks awful. So we're going to stick with our OEM spoiler for the time being. But now we're going to head back home and we'll see if we can't get the E36 looking dirt nasty low. Alrighty, now that we've got everything dropped off here in the garage, the first step is of course going to be jacking up the car. Thankfully, we don't actually have to use a floor jack here. All we have to do is slide the jack stands under each little jack point right there, and we're ready to go. So first, I think I'm gonna zip off all 4 of the wheels. We're gonna want as much access into that wheel well as possible. So we're just gonna take out a couple of bolts and we'll see what we can do with this suspension. Okay, now that we've got all 4 of the wheels removed, I've also gone ahead and removed the original, or not the original, the OEM calipers that we've installed. We're going to be replacing the rear now that we've already done the front. In the previous episode, we're going to be replacing the rear with the performance calipers. Most of our braking force does take place in the front of the vehicle, but it couldn't hurt. Honestly, couldn't hurt to have some upgraded calipers in the rear as well. To my knowledge, there isn't anything like upgraded rotors, like drilled and slotted rotors. I'm pretty sure this is it. But now we've got the creeper over here. So actually, let's do topside first before we climb underneath there. I gotta put the impact away just so I can get it again after opening the trunk. And these, whoops, these 3 bolts here, we've got to get zipped out on either side. So we'll grab those, come over here, do the exact same thing. Unzip all 3 of them. All right, now we can hop on the creeper and slide on under here. When the jack stands are in position, the the bolts and everything don't really line up down here. But thankfully, we've done this a time or two already, so we kind of know what we're up against. This is actually the second best suspension. Granted, it kind of just depends on how you set up your adjustable coilovers. They could be worse than what we have going on here. But that is the rear now unzipped. Suppose we'll probably just creep our way up to the front and remove those. So just like the rear, it's going to be not that one. Hang on, they're floating. They're right here. That one is for the caliper. So those 2. Other side, same thing. Going to be removing them. And then we've got to pop the hood as well, or bonnet, depending on where you're from. I know a lot of people say bonnet. A lot of people say hood as well. We're going to hit the hood release and come up to the front. Pop her open. So much like the rear, this also has 3 bolts on like the top hat or whatever this is called. Oh, and there's the unreal, dude. It's so loud. If it wasn't so loud, I'd be fine with it. And it kind of seems like, ooh, I unzipped something else. Was it that one? No? I can hear it, dude, when I accidentally, like, loosen a bolt that I didn't mean to. Maybe it's fine. Hopefully it's fine. There's no torque spec or anything in here. Everything is fine. So now, we're gonna get the upgraded suspension ripped on out of here. We'll put this on, like, the shelves. You know, no reason for us to, like, completely get rid of this. It's probably gonna come in handy later on down the line. But now, these things, I might actually just wait until that's done being loud. But these things, there is a lot of adjustability, as there should be, being adjustable coilovers. But I need to figure out how it actually works here. So we have the height. We can adjust that. We're trying to go dirt nasty low. Oh, what was default, though? I got to remember the default values for everything. So 385, or 25 out of 50 for height? Yeah, okay, that's easy enough to remember. 25 out of 50. Shouldn't have to write that down. But we are going to make this absolutely on its nuts, you guys. So this is going all the way up, or I guess down, as low as it can go. And then the spring force, I don't really know anything about suspension like that. And then this is bump force and rebound force. I'm just going to leave that as it is. Probably a big mistake doing this. But we're going to do the exact same thing now to all the other ones. I got to move this creeper out of here. It's going to make me mad. There we go. But yeah, we're going to go around and do this to the other 2 remaining ones now. And then we'll get these things thrown in. It's going to be a little bit of like trial and error here, trying to figure out the fitment just perfectly. You know, we only have 2 of each of the size for spacers. So we're probably going to have to use a little bit bigger spacer, maybe in the rear than the front. Just kind of depends. And then these wheels, dude, these wheels that we have are definitely not like the hot boy stance, laying frame everywhere type wheels, but they'll work because quite honestly, we don't have the budget for some new wheels and tires. So we're just going to have to use these for the time being. But now that we've got these all lowered down, I think we're just going to go around and start installing them, go through and put all the bolts back in, and then we can start to mess with their fitment a little bit more with all the spacers. Okay, now with all the hardware put back in the adjustable suspension, even just like up on the jack stands, I can already tell this is going to be extremely low, but that's good. You know, that's the look we're going for right now, and it's going to be really interesting when we actually get to drive this thing around. But of course, no stance car can be dirt nasty low unless it also has just an absurd amount of negative camber. So we are quite literally maxing the rear out We're then going to make our way up to the front and do the exact same thing. And this is just going to look awful, you guys. But it is that. I mean, it's a look. Ultimately, a lot of people like their cars to look this way, and that's fine. Good on them.
The next day.
I had to take a little snooze before we died from sleep deprivation. So we're back, and those rotors are looking mega cambered, which is good. You know, again, that's kind of the vibe we're going for. But look at how tucked that is, you guys. That's ugly. I do wish there were a way for us to make our wheels wider, or maybe like work with tire sizes a bit more to get some stretch, or maybe less stretch depending on what you're after. This is going to be very challenging. Now we have to figure out what size spacer we want to do. Do we need extended lugs with this? Or are we're just sending it? Okay. So now that we've done that, we can mount that up, and that, as you can see, is just a little bit too much poke. So we've got to dial that back a little bit. That was a 70, so let's grab the 60. If that was just a little bit too big, that should be just about perfect. This looks so ridiculous. This looks beyond ridiculous, dude, and we've only got one side done. I wonder if it's going to settle at all, too, once we actually take it off of the jack stands. That'll be kind of interesting. So since we did a 60 on this side, we'll, of course, grab the 60 for the other side and get that wheel fitted up as well. Wait a minute! This is not at all working. Okay, I wonder why that is. That's strange. Maybe our frame is tweaked from crashing so many times in that thing. So 60's not working over there. Let's try a 50 in that case. Hopefully that'll give us the fitment we're looking for. See the other side. Oh yeah, that's about perfect. Strange, dude. It really does kind of seem like our frame is tweaked, or maybe the subframe or whatever. Something's out of alignment down there. That's for sure. I guess it could be our other suspension components. I didn't adjust anything else though. All I did was add camber from those arms, these adjustable arms right here. The toe on that side is 0 degrees as it should be, and same on that side, so I have no idea why that wasn't lining up, but maybe we'll need another large spacer for the front. We'll see what this is going to look like. Not near as large. I'm going to go with like a 30 or a 40 or something. Let's grab the 40. Whoops. Got to actually get it on the hub there. No hub-centric rings either. Granted, we've had these wheels for a minute. No, I think we're going to do a 50 up here, dude. I think we're going to do a 50. When we turn, too, I mean, that tire's just going to clip straight through. Oh, yeah, we've probably got to remove the old one. That tire's just going to straight clip through the fender and look pretty bad. But that's okay. That's okay. That fitment is spot on. Look at how... It's awful. It's horrible, but it's so bad that it's good. I almost wonder if that's why people do this. I mean, it's kind of impressive you're able to not care about your car, I guess, when you're just driving around scraping the frame. But some people like their frame the way it is and would rather it not be scraped up and stuff. What size did we just do? Oh, that was a 50, but we've already used one in the rear. Okay, so if the rear was that way, maybe we can get away with doing a 40 on the front then. Maybe it's tweaked a little bit as well. Nope, not gonna cut it on this one. It could work for now, but I definitely think I want to get another 50. Or can we double up the spacers? No, surely they're not gonna let us do that. Yeah, that's not happening. All right, so interesting. I guess we could go visit the dude and just get a couple more spacers. Like, it's not gonna hurt our bottom line here. Come tomorrow, we should be getting like $13,000 or $14,000 just from maple syrup. So we're gonna hop in the truck, head into town, clean out Mysterious Van Man of his wheel spacers once again, and then we can lower that thing down, see what it's actually gonna look like. Well, not the greatest news here, but it doesn't look like our friend is actually in town at the moment. I know he comes on Saturdays, I just don't know what time. So we're just gonna hang out here for a few minutes. It's probably around 10 or maybe noon, something like that. I stand corrected. turns out he's actually never been there on a Saturday. It's always been Friday and Sundays. So not a huge deal. We're just going to head back home, twiddle our thumbs for a few minutes. It'll be Sunday here before you know it. And we're going to get paid, which is equally as awesome. All right, there it is. $15.6 thousand from, I think we have 100 maple trees now, and we should be running about 18 barrels at a time. You can only actually deposit 12 at a time, but those of you that also play this at home will understand. So we're looking good, dude. 75,000. Absolutely killing it. Unfortunately, though, Norman isn't going to be at the gas station today, but we don't need to see him today. We still have to go back and visit our friend, the van man, and grab those spacers. So we're going to do exactly that. Now that we've got the 50 mil that we actually needed, I'm going to remove that front wheel. We're going to remove, what was this? We were trying, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It was the other side. What am I doing, dude? Hang on. We've got to put that whole thing back together. Here we go. Okay, this one already doesn't have one on it. So we're going to do that, and then we'll put the 10 mil we were messing around with back, and we'll see if that is looking a little bit better. You know what? I'd say that's pretty close. I'm actually pretty happy with that. So next, I'm going to put all the bolts back in the wheels, and then I think we'll be able to lower this thing down and see how ridiculous it's going to look. But, like, what a Chad move. Like, I know our character's name is Jason, but, honestly, I think it just became Chad. Oh my god, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. They are clipping through that rear quarter already. Look at this, dude. This is way too low. Like, I know we were going for that dirt nasty low look, but this is just too much.
Many minutes later.
And now, finally, after a lot of trial and error, this is what we're left with. I actually decided to go without any spacers at all, because really all I wanted was for it to be dirt nasty low, and I wanted to add the camber just because I think it looks absolutely ridiculous, just absurd, and it definitely does. It definitely fits the bill. So we now have all of these spacers. If we ever want to try to fit some different wheels, maybe find a better fitment that doesn't really have a lot of camber and probably would look better when we're turning, because I'm sure, let's see, outside view. Yeah, when we turn those front wheels, dude, that looks bad. That looks really bad. But look how low we are. I mean, the frame is scraping the ground, or just about. It's definitely close. So it is now Monday, so we are good to go see our good buddy Norman and pay the man, or donate to a good cause. But let's see how this thing drives now, dude. I'm sure it's just gonna be just awful. Oh, that reminds me too. First of all, while we're, God, it sounds really good. While we're at the gas station, there's a couple of things inside that I still really want to buy and just have been putting it off for forever. So I'm gonna make sure that I hopefully remember to get that to happen. But then somebody else had let me know previously that you can actually adjust the blow-off valve sound. So I did do that off camera and forgot until just now, but I think this is sound number 10. It's definitely the one that I thought sounded the best, the most realistic, and it rips, dude. It rips, it sounds great, it looks pretty good, I guess. I'm not super crazy about the camber and whatnot, but I mean, you can't deny that this is a looker. Like, driving by, it's gonna break some necks, for sure. Dude, now that we're on the street, you can really get a better feel for just how low this thing is. I mean, the exhaust is almost touching in the rear. I can definitely see a little bit of that hanger right there in the center. That's almost touching. It's low. I mean, it's real low. But, so you guys can see our wooden steering wheel here. Whoever has been leaving the comment, I mean, obviously, you know who you are. We've been over this probably 3 times now, and you keep reminding me to pick up the wooden shift knob here at the gas station. So I'm gonna do exactly that. Purchase that bad boy, Billy. It's so cheap, dude. I don't know why I was putting it off for so long. Now I just need to figure out how we switch it. Do we just sort of toss it in there, or how does this work? Hang on, it probably says something on here. Oh, use the spanner to remove the old one. Okay. We'll do that eventually. Someday, I'm sure. Did that just go outside? It did. It did. Okay, we've got to be careful about that. There we go. In addition to that wood grain shift knob, I also wanted to buy these strut bars, both front and rear. It's going to be a little tricky getting these inside the car. There we go. So I think that was the front one. And then this is going to be the rear. So Van Man didn't sell these. This is going to be a huge upgrade for us structurally. You know, we're gonna have a bar going from the top hats of the suspension back there, and then we'll also have a similar thing going over the top of the engine in the front. So looking forward to that. Hopefully it stiffens up the chassis a decent bit. Let's also buy a maple syrup while we're here. Okay, finally, the moment we've been waiting for, and I'm sure that there's a few people that have already said in the comments, Toogii, you know you have to wait like 2 or 3 weeks, something ridiculous, for the track to actually open. I am aware of that. It's just, it is what it is. You know what? We can't change it, so let's go ahead and pay the man. Donate 70 G's. All right. You really like racing, eh? I get that. The worker will start working on the track tomorrow. They estimated a good 2 weeks of work. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We're down to $2,900 now. And I think I want to go just cruise by the racetrack and see if there's any progress whatsoever. It should be just up here and on the left. We'll see a sign on our right. And then it looks like this was actually closed for construction. There's a nice little bridge back there. I think it might be open, so we might be able to look at that too. It's not going to be as cool as the racetrack, but you know, it's something to look at. It's something new. So up on the sign, it does say something over the top of it now. I don't know if that means closed. Maybe they'll take that off, I guess, once it's actually opened up. But we're gonna slide on in here, and we'll see if there's anything we can actually do here. I know it's not open yet. He did say that there's a lot of work that needs to be done here, but I just wanted to come up to at least the front gate so we can kind of get a look-see at everything. See what sort of signage they got going on here. We have a no people sign, probably no trespassing, and then we have a no ATV sign or dirt bike or something. Okay, cool. And a little handwritten note from Norman himself. Eventually, you guys, eventually, this place is gonna open up and it's gonna be super freaking sick. What's kind of cool about this, or I guess what's nice about this bridge now being open, is before, if we take a look at the map, hang on, let me rip the e-brake here so we don't just roll back. But if we take a look at the map, going from our house into town is fairly quick, but going from our house to the racetrack before the bridge was open was an absolute nightmare. So now we get to bridge the gap, pun intended, I suppose. Oh, hang on. And we'll just be able to drive right on through this. It's not like anything super crazy, but just the fact that we're able to get to the racetrack now that much faster is really, really nice. And the roads, dude, the roads through like the farmland area on this side of the map are awful. They'd probably be pretty good for drifting though. They're all gravel, and I'm sure you can get sideways pretty easily. Okay, I really, really wanted to get these strut bars installed at the very least. But tell you guys the truth, okay? Getting to this point, the $70,000 was enough of a grind in and of itself. I don't really feel like sitting on my hands for a couple of hours just waiting 2 weeks so we can go inspect the racetrack. I would rather us structure an entire episode dedicated to actually looking at the racetrack. So I think that's precisely what we're going to be doing. But we now have a few strut bars, both front and rear. And hopefully that's going to stiffen up the chassis and make it just a little bit more predictable around the corners. So, ladies and gents, I think that's where we're going to wind down this episode at for today. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.